Okay, so this is the first problem. We have here my measurements of the first problem. The first thing you need to see is at least the figure. This is a trapezium, but it's the measurements are more like a big rectangle. But for example, first we have 2 times the cubic root of 16, 5 times the cubic root of 54, the cubic root of 128, and 3 times the cubic root of 250. So first I joined the ones that were the same and the other ones that were the same, and I used the values of the cubic: 2 to the cube 8, 3 to the cube 27, 4 to the cube 64, and 5 to the cube 125. First I start with the smallest one. Is so we know that the nearest one is 8. We divide 16, 8 times 2, we pass the 8, 2 times 2, 4 times the cubic root of 2, and this gives us the same, but in this case with 4 to the cube. 128 divided by 2, 54, it's cubed. 54 times 2, 128. Pass it to the cube, 4 to the cubic root of 4 times the cubic root of 2. We obtain, and we sum it, we obtain 8 times the cubic root of 2. On the other side, we have for the upper sides, upper and down sides. In this case, first we have 5 to the times the cubic root of 54. So if we use the 4 to the cube, it will go upper, so we need to use the other one, 3 to the cube. So we obtain 27 times 2. We pass the 27 is 3 times 5, we obtain 50 times the cubic root of 2. And on the other hand, this one, we know that if we do it 6 to the cube, it will overpass, so we need to use 5 to the cube. 127 times 2. We pass the 125, sorry, to 5. 5 times 3, 15, 50 times the cubic root of 2. We sum it, we obtain 13 times the cubic root of 2. So we now sum, because it is the perimeter, and we obtain 38 times the cubic root of 2 centimeters.
In the problem, they give us this formula telling us that revenue equals income minus cost. And they give us these values for income and cost, and tell us to simplify. So first, we take out the parentheses, making this negative. Then we simplify the square roots, finding the factors, and here we see we can take out a 3, and we left out a 6, and here we can take out a 2 and left out a 6. So 3 times 2 is 6, and we left out a 6, and here is also 6 and left out a 6 as well. And then the x's, here from the x5th we take out 4 to make a x squared, and here we take out from the 3 we take s squared to take only 1, and with the one that's already there it's x squared too. So then we add and subtract. 6 plus 6 is 12 minus 3, it's 9x squared, square root of 6x. In the second part it tells us to replace x with 100. So first we put 9 times 100 squared and give us this, and then 6 times 100 and makes 600, and here I factorize 600, but actually you can see that 100 is just the square of 10, so you only put one zero out as well for the 9, and you end up with answer as 900,000 square root of 6.
Well, for this problem, that is the number 3, we have this rectangle with the value of a side of 2 square root of 6 and plus 3 square root of 2, and the other side is 5 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 8. So what we need to do is simplify each term first, and then when it's simplified we are going to multiply it. Well, the first step here is to simplify 5 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 8, which is going to be 5 square root of 3 times 2, and we divide it into square roots, and minus and 6 square root of 8, because it's the simplified form of 3 square root of 8. And then we are going to simplify the second length, that is 2 square root of 6, that is going to be simplified into 2 square root of 3 times 2. And we also divide it into two square roots, that is 2 square root of 3 and square root of 2, plus 3 square root of 2, that we can't simplify that, so we're going to leave it like that. So now that we have all the values, we're going to multiply this one times this one, and this one times this one, and then this one times this one. And so now that we have all the values, we're going to multiply this one times this one, and this one times this one, and then this one times this one, and this one times this one. So first we multiply the whole numbers, and it's going to give us 10 times 3 times 5 plus 5 plus 3, that is 15, and then 2 square root of 3 minus 12 plus 2 square root of 3 minus 18 times 2. Then we multiply 10 times 3 times 2, that is 60, plus and 15 times 2, that is 30. And we cross the square root of 3 and the other square root of 3, and it will give us as if it was 1, so we'll leave it as 1 square root of 3 minus 12 times 2, that is 24 square root of 3, minus 18 plus 2, that is 36. I mean 18 times 2, that is 36. So we subtract 60 minus 36, that is 24, and 30 minus 24, that is 6, and we just leave the square root of 3.
Hello, today I will be explaining how to do exercise 4 in the M4 collaborative activity. Let's go. Okay, so we have to find the height of the rectangular prism with this, which is this one, and we have already the base and the width. We also have the volume. Since the original formula is ABH is the same as V, we replace the H at the start and we leave it at the end, which will leave us with V volume is the same as A times divided by A times V, the same as height. Okay, so this is the formula that we will be using right now. Okay, first of all, we need to know that we don't have to simplify right now. We can leave that to the end. So we have here the square root of 6x2y times the square root of 4xy. So we have it like this, and we go, first of all, we put the root, 6 times 4, 24. X2 times x is the same as x3, and y times y is y2, y squared. So we have this result. Then we need to divide 192 by 24. So we start 192 x2 y5 divided by 24 x3 y2. Okay, this is simple. We first start by, first of all, we don't eliminate the root right now, even though we can. So we do 192 between 8, no, 24 is 8, so we leave it there. Then we do a simple elimination. X2 has a difference from X3 of 1, and since X3 has the difference, is more than X2, we leave X down here. And here we have a difference of 3 between y5 and y2, and since y5 is the one that is 3 higher than y2, we leave it y3 over here. Okay, over here we need to simplify the radical now that we have this. So what we need to do right now is, first of all, we have it like this. We have square root of 8y3 divided by x. What we have to do is find two numbers that multiply together give us 8. So we have 1 times 8, which isn't the correct one since we would have the same. Then 2 times 4 is the other and only last, no, the only other one. So we leave it like this. 4 times 2 x, no, y3 to x. Well, we cannot find the square root of 2, so we leave it there, and we then have 2 outside, which is the square root of 4, and then inside 2 y3 between x. What we need to do next is like we have to separate, let's say, all the y's and to a point where we can actually divide and not get a decimal with the exponent between the root. So it gets separated as y2 and y1, which is the same as y. Then we do 2 here, 2y, we have 1y here and y1 here, because y2 between 2 is 2, so we leave it here, and the rest that we didn't divide, we leave it over here. Then we cannot, we can neither find the square root of nor divide x1, because it will leave us with x 0.5, and we cannot do that. So we leave it like that. And the final result of this problem is, let me write it over here, very pretty and in color. Here, green. 2y. Oh no. Okay. Just give me a second while I try to find a way to make it pretty and presentable as a job. Okay. 2y times the square root of 2y between x. This is the final result, and this is the area, no, the height of the prism. We then we already have the result, which is, this is a simple method. To my understanding, there are other ones, but this is the one I have been taught, and in my opinion, it is the easiest one. So I hope you all liked my explanation, and see you next time. Bye bye.